Good morning. Everybody should know me by now. My name is Sharika Joyner, and I am here to tell my story. When I was born, my mother left me in the hospital. As I got older, I started seeing little things happening here and there, the way I was treated, the abuse. I couldn't understand it as a kid. But as I got older, I started realizing what was happening. And I want to thank all of you tarot readers that's been telling my story and other people's story because it is serious. This is something that's been happening before time. We got to a point where people think that controlling people and using things to control people is the way of life, and that's not true. Why you would want someone to feel a certain type of way about you doing witchcraft or whatever else kind of magic you feel will get that person to like you, love you, be with you, or want to do certain things with you is just beyond me. But our ancestors has been going through this before time. And we also have a lot of ancestors that have been taken out through witchcraft. Um, I never knew that the people that was around me also was dealing in witchcraft. As a kid, I had these gifts and I couldn't understand why I was able to know things, why I was able to see things. And, I also had little play friends. But being in a Christian family, I figured someone would explain that to me and say, it's your angels or, you know, it's the heavenly realm. But I didn't get that. What I got was stop talking to those people. You know, don't do that. You're not supposed to see things. You're not supposed to know things. I remember at the age of 10, I had a vision that came true within 15 minutes. And I noticed when my family realized that I had that gift, that became a problem. And I noticed over the years, it seems like I didn't get visions anymore. Um, the abuse was heavy. I was sexually abused by my mother, her boyfriends. So it was just a constant thing. But the last encounter, um, apparently we pressed charges on a person, and I never knew what happened to that case either because, she told me they threw it out, but that obviously was not true. They didn't throw it out, she was manipulating it. I was raped when I was 7 by her boyfriend, and now know that she arranged it. But the point I'm trying to get at is people don't know what people go through in their daily life. Just because they're not speaking on it, it doesn't mean that they're not going through anything. And the more trials that you're putting on people, you're making them strong. So growing up, I noticed how I never really had true friends, family, no one, honestly. But I made the best of what I could. And I always did for myself. I never asked and begged anyone for anything. Why they would see a problem in that, I don't know. I guess control. But I've always separated myself because I knew there were certain people that, let's just say, wasn't in my corner, wasn't happy for me. So I decided to separate myself. Unbeknownst to them, they think that I just moved away. It wasn't that I moved away. I moved away from the drama I knew that they were causing. Setting me up, with boyfriends that they know meant me no good. And that's what they wanted because they didn't want me to have nothing good in my life. I just recently found out within a year that my mother also took my inheritance and spent it on the family. Let's just say that, because she kept paying people for her dirty work, paying officers to get rid of court cases, paying family members, so-called friends and loved ones, boyfriends and husband. Yes. So they decided to bring basically half the world in it against one me. But what they knew I didn't at the time. See, they knew that I was gifted, and they knew that I had certain strengths, and they never wanted me to know that or see that. And another thing is religion. So you guys should know by now that we're in a religious war, okay? And believe me, the battle is not ours, it's God. So they decided to bring a lot of people against me, thinking that that would discourage me, that would bring me down, that would stop me. But I'm a survivor. What they don't know is I've always been a step ahead because of God. Now, like I've always been saying, you're not fighting me, you're fighting God. So all the little traps and snares that you thought you were setting, those were your own traps. If you look at how the people I'm talking about, how their life is, how it's turning out, you could see the difference between my life and their life. I don't live deceitfully. I don't set out to hurt people intentionally. That's not me, never been me. I don't hurt kids. I don't hurt innocent people. I don't do that, never did that, and never will. People think that I'm too righteous, or I'm a goody two-shoe, or I think my stuff don't stink. I don't, and it doesn't. But what I will say is this. With all the abuse, right? All of you ganging up on me, the neighbors, the friends, the loved ones, the family, the neighbors, the associates, with everybody coming against me, I'm still here. All those traps that you set, I'm still here. Because everything that you try to do to me, already done to you. Now, the abuse didn't keep me down. The ridicule didn't keep me down. And you guys constantly coming at me didn't keep me down. And as far as a male in my life, if you took him, you can have him. Okay? That has never been a problem for me, but it's always been a problem for you. See, I don't need anyone to make me whole. That's just it. I don't need friends. I don't need family. I don't need loved ones. I don't need anybody but what I got, and that's God and my divine family. And that's what you guys never seemed to realize. Everything that you think you took from me is what I didn't need and wasn't mine. Because if you were able to take it, it wasn't for me. And I thank you because I didn't have to waste time on it. So, all the people coming against me, my mother mistreating me as a kid, even as an adult, my brothers coming against me, the witchcraft you guys have been doing, even my husband, um, it hasn't worked. It won't work. And that's what I've been trying to tell you all along. It's not gonna work. Now, you tried to press charges on me for something that I didn't do, didn't know about. I wasn't even around. Like, the little things that you were doing was causing you to be investigated. That wasn't smart. Now, you being my mother, and I'm going to send this out. I'm a mother. I have 4 children, and never in a million years would I want my kids to hurt or would I turn them against each other. I would never do that. So over the years, seeing that, you always kept chaos. You lied on my name. You lied about things that I did not do. And it wasn't just you. You encamped the family and, the boyfriends, the exes, and the husband. But with all of that, all of you against me, like I said, this is where we are now, and I am still here because you wasn't fighting me, you was fighting God. Okay? I was sent here to do what God wanted me to do, and I'm gonna do that. Regardless of your witchcraft, all the beatings I went through, the humiliation you think, the sorrow you think, trying to make me unhappy and bring me sorrow, it has all backfired. Every spell, all the voodoo and witchcraft and magic you did still didn't stop what you thought it would. I am still here. I'm still giving God's messages and love. See, that's what you thought you were going to do. You were going to make me bitter, angry, unlovable. No. And I still love you. And I forgive all of you for what you did and what you think you're doing. But my story is, I'm still here. Through all the pain, through all your laughter, through all your ridicule, through all the things you thought you did to hurt me, I'm still here. Now that everything is out in the open, everybody wants to call or try to contact me, the apologies and the I didn't knows, and it's all good. I don't want to hear it. Please keep it to yourself. I forgive you. This is an open forgiveness. I forgive you all. No, I will never forget, but I still forgive you because that's the godly thing to do. And that's how I move on in life. See, I never ran from my situations. I just left because I knew that if I stayed, it could get worse, and worse would bring out the worst in me. And I'm better than that. A lot of you guys have been going through the same things. I'm hearing it over and over. The gang stalking, people, and like me, I went at it alone because I didn't have real family, real friends, loved ones, boyfriends, husbands, didn't have it. So that's the other thing. I went through all of this on my own with God and my divine family. And it made me stronger. And it made me not need anybody. So you guys have been angry and mad at me for years because I was able to walk away and leave people where they were. Love or no love. If you're not treating me the way I want to be treated, then I would leave. And that's the main thing that you guys hated about me. Because I wanted a better life. I didn't want to live in that life that, you know, our family builds around. The generational curses. And thank God it is broken. Okay, starting with my family. That's why I was here, to break the generational curse. My mother knew that when I was born. She knew it when I was growing up. And the reason why she could never face me is because she knew one day I would see her for what she really was and all the things that her and my family did. With that being said, all the money that you spent to try to hurt me and come against me was just a waste. It was the waste of time, waste of energy. And now we're here in the same place. I'm still here, alive. It hurts to a degree because you were my mother, but being a mother, I had to learn that just because people have that title, it doesn't mean that's what they are. I thank God for you birthing me because I wouldn't be here if you didn't. But I do thank God for being there with me through it all, because I know the times where I wanted to commit suicide as a little kid, and I'm talking 10 too. And, my mother decided that it was a good idea to beat me for it. As a kid, you don't understand why you're going through the things you're going through and why the people don't love you. What did you do? You don't know. So I figured, the best way to get out of this is, let me do something to hurt myself. But it was weird because as a kid that young, even knowing that was just, crazy. But that was, I figured my way out. And each time I did it, I woke back up. Nothing but God. But as I got older, I learned that I had to fight and stand up for myself. And just because I left the battle doesn't mean that you won. That's just what you don't get. Just because someone up and leave a situation doesn't mean that, you won. No, I was woman enough to get up and leave because I know that wasn't the situation for me. That's all that was. The love that I got was from God and my divine family, which is what kept me going until I had my kids, and then that kept me going. So having kids in an abusive marriage also, that's a lot to carry until, you stand up for yourself like I did. But having everyone come against you, that's supposed to love you, yeah, it hurts. But at the end of the day, I had to understand that these people didn't belong in my life. And the reason why, they were leaving out or something was happening was because they wasn't supposed to be a part of my journey. And having my kids, I figured if I stayed in my marriage, they would have a family. But not only that, because my husband was so caught up with the things in the street and what my family and everybody else was doing, that's where his attention was. So my attention was mostly to raise my kids and keep them safe, because there were things going on behind the scene nobody knows about also why I stayed. And my kids are now grown and of age, so that's not a concern of mine, to a heavy degree anymore. So you never know why people do the things that they do and make the choices that they make. Because I don't talk to people and tell my business and tell my life, they never know what's going on. And when they do, they get it from hearsay. Like, yeah, my husband talked about me with them. Yeah, my so-called friends talked about me. Yeah, my mother, my brothers, whoever. They all got together and you know, tried to give me a going away party, but thanks to God, all they did was open the door for more blessings. See, that's the thing. It's hurtful, but at the same time, it's like your biggest blessing in disguise. So all the time that you think you're fighting, negativity, nothing's going your way, it's not going to work out, don't look at it like that. That's just God preparing you. And sometimes we say, well, why did it take so long? Because it took long for us to realize what was going on. The signs were there. God was showing us. See, you guys always figured, how did I stay a step ahead of you? It's because it wasn't me. Again, it was God you were fighting. That's why. So every snare and trap you set for me, you was just setting yourself up for